Have you heard of Popobawa, an urban legend that once haunted the region of Tanzania? To my surprise, not many people seem to know about this creature outside Tanzania, despite its long history of creating panic and fear across several regions. Before sharing my personal account, my curiosity prompted me to check Google Scholar to see if there has been any research about it. Honestly, I was shocked at the sheer volume of research papers from researchers interested in folklore, anthropology, and cultural studies. One research that really resonated with my personal experience was the Popobawa phenomenon, a case study in Tanzania folklore by Dr. Elizabeth Nyamayaro, which examines the psychological dimensions of the legend. As Dr. Elizabeth puts it, the legend literally shaped our culture and our collective experiences. Having grown up in Zanzibar during the height of this urban legend, I decided to share my personal experience. Zanzibar, with its white sandy beaches, turquoise waters and vibrant culture, was a place of enchantment and mystery. However, beneath the surface of this paradise, a dark legend loomed. The legend of Popobawa was whispered among the locals and passed down from generation to generation. My grandfather told me that this figure emerged from the darkness of the night to wreak havoc upon unsuspecting victims. During my teenage years, it was deeply ingrained in our culture that people with mental illness were linked to Popobawa possession. Let me take you back to the beginnings of this legend. Popobawa, which translates to winged bat in Swahili, was believed to be a supernatural shape-shifting bat creature that had the ability to transform between human and animal forms. It was said to have originated in the late 1960s on Pemba Island and began tormenting various towns in Tanzania. One of the most notable occurrences was in Zanzibar in the 1970s. The townspeople spoke of horrifying encounters with the creature, describing how it would creep into their homes at night, tormenting them with intense nightmares and hallucinations. The story that my grandfather told me is that it was formed when a sheikh freed a jinn from its resting place in order to avenge its enemies. Unfortunately, the sheikh lost control of the jinn and unknowingly created an unstoppable assaulting demon. In 1995, the tale of Popobawa quickly spread across the island, striking fear among everyone. It was said that the Popobawa attacked non-believers. In Zanzibar, it started attacking unsuspecting men, women, and even children in their sleep. My family home has its own share of the story. I watched it attack my father and two of my brothers. In the case of my father, he was attacked on multiple occasions. One of the encounters left him in a state of sleep paralysis after the creature crawled into his bed and pressed hard against his chest. As he described it, it felt like he was screaming without words. That incident took several weeks for the unbearable pain to subside. In other narratives, our neighbors describe experiencing various assaults, from a simple nightmare attack to zombie-like behavior while sleeping. I remember one incident where I heard a loud commotion in the dead of the night outside our family house. To my horror, I saw our neighbor screaming in terror as she flailed her arms, desperately trying to fend off something that wasn't there. However, the most feared attack from the Popobawa was the sodomizing of women and children. It was said that during the attack, it will cause the victim's sexual organs to enlarge enormously, leaving them in terrible pain the next day. While it's possible you could see this creature during the day, most reported Popobawa attacks were said to have occurred at night while the victim was in bed. At the peak of the horror, you will actually find entire households sleeping outside to avoid being attacked. Crazy, right? We would gather in the evenings, seeking safety in numbers, as we listened to the accounts of those who had crossed paths with Popobawa. The stories varied in detail, but the underlying fear remained constant. We exchanged protective measures, hoping to ward off the creature's malevolent presence. To protect ourselves, we turned to prayers, incantations, and the use of talismans became a part of our nightly rituals. In my house, my mum will place a bowl of salt under each bed to serve as a symbolic barrier against this evil intruder. The legend of Popobawa was not merely an abstract concept. It infiltrated every aspect of our lives. It altered our behavior and heightened our senses. My friends and I once witnessed a mentally ill man beaten to death for stories he harbored the Popobawa demon, only to realize they killed an innocent man. It was worth mentioning that the legend was most widespread during the Tanzanian general elections. Zanzibar, for instance, experienced a wave of Popobawa attacks in 1995, which made the 1995 elections one of the most contentious in its history due to disagreement. Living in constant fear of Popobawa had a profound impact on our lives. Nighttime became a time of heightened anxiety, with families huddling together in small candlelit rooms, afraid to venture outside alone. The legend was so ingrained in our consciousness that even a rustling tree or a stray dog's bark could send shivers down our spines. As time passed, the impact on our daily lives began to diminish. People became less fearful, and the tales grew more infrequent. In spite of this, its impact on the communities it tormented remains a significant part of our history. The story became part of our cultural fabric, a testament to our resilience and the power of shared experiences. And although I no longer live in Tanzania, the memories of those nights filled with shouts of Popobawa will forever be etched in my mind.